Welcome back everyone to the full stack Node app. We will build this Node app using MERN Stack. So let's go through the demo of this project. What we are going to build in this video. We will use MongoDB, React.js and Node.js. So let's go. First of all, let's log out. So here you can log in or you can sign up, create a new account. So I would like to first of all log into the system because I already have an account. I will log into that. Later I will just show you the registration also. Press login button. So logged in successfully, a toast notification. So let's check it. Okay, for example, I would like to add a new note. So press this plus icon at the right corner. Okay, at the bottom right corner, press that. So here you will see a model. So let's add that. Okay, prepare PC, for example. Okay, add a note. So we have added this new note to our note app. So let's, for example, I would like to edit this one. So I just want to edit this PC, personal computer, update note. So look at that, has been updated, note updated successfully. Look at prepare personal computer. So let's now check the deletion. For example, press this one. So we have note deleted successfully. We have deleted that. Let's log out. Even let's check the filter functionality. For example, I want to search based on research. Nothing. Okay, research like this. Okay, let's change. You can search based on title and also based on description. Let's now log out. We can create a new account also. So you can just enter these details. So it will create a new account for you. So this was the demo that you checked. Okay, that we are going to build this Node app using MERN Stack in this video. So let's start this project. So I have opened an empty folder inside VS Code editor. So after opening this, now let's create first of all two projects, a React project and Node project. So let's create that. Let's move to the terminal. In terminal, I will just write npm create with. Okay, to create React app, press enter. Assign a name for your project, that is front end. Press enter. We would like to use React and JavaScript. That's it. Let's move to front end. And after moving to the front end, just write npm install. So it will install the dependencies and libraries. So let's wait for it. So after the completion, now let's install Tailwind CSS. We would like to use Tailwind CSS for the designing. So to install Tailwind CSS, come here to the Tailwind CSS with wait.js. So just come here, copy this command first of all, and paste it in the terminal and press enter. So it will install Tailwind CSS. Post CSS is auto prefixer. So after the installation, we will run this command. So that's okay. Run the second command, press enter. So it will create a config file. So after creating that, now let's just come here, update this content area, copy this section, and we will update the content area in config file. Come here to the Tailwind, come here to the tailwind.config.css and come here to the content and update this content. So that's it. After updating that, what else you need to do? Copy these three directory and paste it into index.css. Come here to the src index.css, Control A, remove everything and paste that here. So it was all about the Tailwind CSS. Now let's install a few other libraries like React Toastify for notification. Okay, Axios HTTP request response library, React icons for icon, React Auto DOM for routing. Copy these libraries. We will install these also. npm install, paste them and press enter. So let's wait for the installation. Let's run our React app, npm run do. So it will run our React app. Let's move to this URL. So this is our React default code. So let's remove the default code. I will just remove that later. So let's create now our server project, server side project. So let's take a new terminal. In new terminal, let's first of all create a new folder here. We will assign a name server to that. And this server, let's cd change directory to server. And here I will write npm init -y, press enter to create a package.json file. So after creating that file, now let's install these libraries. Okay, npm install Bcrypt cards, Express, Nodman, Mongoose, and JSON Web Token. So we have installed all these libraries like Bcrypt for password hashing, cards for cross origin resource sharing, Express is the framework of Node.js, Nodman for auto refreshing, Mongoose document object model for MongoDB, JSON Web Token for the token generation. So let's create a file inside this server folder. Okay, we will name it index.js. In this index.js we will write all our code. So let's first of all use, just come here first of all to the package.json, and here I will add type module. Okay, we will use module type, and come here, in here I will add start nodman index.js. okay, the index.js is our a file that we would like to start by default. And in the index.js, let's import first of all express. Okay, if you don't write this sentence, okay, this okay type module, if you don't write this, it will give you an error. Okay, you can't use the import statement then. Come here and let's create an instance app. Const app is equal to express. Call the express function and use app that lesson method, and here we will assign a port number, for example 5000, comma, and here a callback function console, for example that log server is running. That's it. Let's run our server app now. So to run that, simply for that, let's write npm start, press enter. So look at server is running. So it was all about that. We just run our server app and also our front-end React app. So let's remove the default code from our React app. App.css, we don't need this file. Let's delete it. And let's move back here and to the app.jsx. Let's remove all the default code. So that's it. Okay, in the main.jsx we don't, and everything is okay. Let's write here in the index.js note up. Let's add Tailwind CSS class name text for Excel, for example, for Excel. So let's check it now. Look at note up. So this was our that we have successfully created our React and Node app. So let's write now. First of all, we will just create the registration form like this. Okay, just come here. So we will just create the sign up form. So let's do it. We will use React.js and Tailwind CSS. It. So I will just create here a folder inside src. I will name it pages. Inside this pages, the first one is sign up.jsx rafe. So inside this here we will have h2 up. Down from that a forum, inside forum have a div element. Inside this div element, first of all label for a name, put field, text, placeholder, enter name. What else? Yeah, that's okay. Down from that we will have for email, this is email, and these are required. Okay, required. Copy this, and also here copy this again for password. And this is password. And here instead of this, let's write just like this. Down from that we will have a button for sign up. That's it. So I will just use the Tailwind CSS classes to design it. Okay, I will pause video for classes. So I have just added these classes to this sign up form. So look at it, looks like this. Okay, h2 sign up, and then we have div element per name input field, and another per email, per password, and down we have sign up button, and also already have an account, so move to the login. So let's now check it how it looks like. Just come here. So yeah, this is our app. So let's import it. Let's import it inside app.jsx. The app, and here I should import this class name, import that. That is sign up. First of all, I will just rename it sign up. That's it. For default, copy this. Okay, they will just rename it to the capital. Save that. Now let's export it. So that's it. Okay, let's check it now. Look at this is our React app, and this is our sign up page that we have. Okay, so later I will change these things. So after creating this sign up, what else we need? So let's create now a 3 input fields. Okay, for 3 state variable for name, email, and password. So let's create them. Const, first of all, email and name, set name, state. Duplicate it for email and password. Set email, and also for the password. Set password. That's it. After creating these 3 state variable, so now whenever we write something in these input fields, we would like to update these variables. So let's do it. Come here and change set name, call set name method, and e.target dot value. What it will do, it will store whatever you are writing in this input field inside this name variable. So let's do it same like this. Copy this line and paste it here also for just set password, set email, and also for password. Set password. That's it. So whenever we press this sign up button, we would like to call an API and pass this data to the server side, and there create a new account. So let's do it. Okay, just come here to the forum and submit. So whenever we press that button, so we will call handle submit function. So let's create this function now. Asynchronous function. Prevent default submission. Always whenever you are calling a function on submit, so write this. Okay, prevent default submission. Without prevent default. Use try catch block. So just come here, and now I will use Axios, okay, to post data to the server side to store that inside the database. So const response is equal to await. I will use await keyboard Axios. So let's import Axios. That's it. Axios dot post. So our URL will be like this: http colon / localhost colon port number is 5000 / which route you would like to call. I would like to call API / auth / register. That's it. This is the route, and I will pass data. The data is name, email, and password. Alt Shift F to format the document. This is email. So after passing that, here we will get now a response. So if the response was okay, so we will move directly to the another page. Okay, but before that, let's just console.log response. And if there was any error, console that. Okay, so whenever we pass this data to the server side, so let's now just create API, okay, register API to pass data and to store the data inside the database. So let's move to the server side. Come here to the index.js. So in the index, let's create a few folders inside server. Right click, folder. The first one is models. Okay, we want to create models like per user, and let's create another folder by the name of routes, where here we will have our routes. Let's first of all create a model, okay, for user. So to create a model, let's create that user.js. So here I will just create the model for user. So I have created this user model. In user model, we have, okay, first of all, imported mongoose, then mongoose.schema to create a schema. In the schema, we have name, email, and password field. The type is string, required true, and the email is unique, true also. Here I have just exported that model. Okay, here I have created a model. So mongoose.model, this is the name of model where you want to store inside the database. So it will assign username and the user schema, these two properties to model. So let's say exported the model. So just come here back, and here let's now come here to the routes. I will create a file by the name of like auth, or we can name it user.js. So let's import Express first of all. Express. So after importing Express, const router is equal to express dot router. So it will create an instance of router. So after creating that, now let's use router dot this is a post method that we want to pass data, so we will use post function. So here the route is register. Here we will create a synchronous function, request and response. Let's export router. Export default router. So I will write the code of this API later. So let's first of all import this router inside index.js. Also let's import cars from cars, and that's it. Let's now import auth router model routes slash auth.js. So after importing that, now let's use it. So app.use, first of all I will use cars cross origin resource sharing app.use. So app.use slash, here I will define the handlers or route, which is API slash auth comma, I will assign auth router to this. So what does this mean? This means that whenever I call this API, just come here, okay, API auth register. Okay, so it will move to server side, API auth register route, come here to the index. So it will come here API auth. After it will call auth router. So in auth router, it will find the register. So here we will just write the logic to submit a user to the database. So let's do it. Just try catch block. There was any error, so we will return an error. So here to register a user, so let's first of all find a const destruct name, email, and password is equal to request.body. From body we will extract these fields. So after extracting them, now let's const user is equal to await. So let's import user model. Model slash user.js. So after importing that, let's write here user.find by find one. I think if I find one, so here I will specify email. So it will find a user based on email. If a user was existed, so what we need to do, we will return a response. Return response.json. The user is already existed, so we can return a response like 401. What is the state? Yeah, sorry, status like 401, something like this dot json. So here the response is success, false. message is user already exists. That's it. Okay, so we will return this response if user was already registered. If user was not already existed, so then we will change this part of password to a hashed password. Const hash password is equal to a wait so if we are here, we will use Bcrypt library to change password. So let's import first of all Bcrypt library. Bcrypt dot hash. So first of all, I will assign password, which is password field. Later we will assign a string, a salt. Okay, the salt is like I will assign 10, so it will just add a 10 unique character to the password. So let's now create a new user. New user. So I will just assign name, email, and password. Password is hash password. Let's save it. Await new user dot save. So let's return a response. Message. That's it. If there was any error, so I will return an error. Sorry, control. Return response. The error is 500 because this is server error, and JSON 6 is false. And message error in adding user. That's it. Okay, this is the API app register. So let's now use create connection with database. Okay, I forgot to create the connection with database. So to create connection with database, for that, just come here and I will create a new folder. I will name it DB. Inside this, let's create a db.js file. So here I will just create connection with the MongoDB database. So this is the code of creating connection with MongoDB database. Our MongoDB database, you have two options. The first option is to use online tool, MongoDB Atlas online tool. I have already created a video on that if you want to create connection with online tool. But in this video, I will use the local server. Okay, I have installed MongoDB Compass locally, so I will use that. So to use this tool, first of all, you need to install it. I have already video on this, so you can watch that how to install this. So after installing this, come here, and if you want to create connection with that, copy the connection string. Okay, so copy connection string. So after copying the connection string, just come here back. So you need, okay, this is a function connect to the MongoDB database. So in this you need to use mongoose tool. First of all, import mongoose tool, then mongoose.connect. Mongoose.connect will create connection with that. Here paste that connection string. This is connection string. So the database name, so here I will assign node app. So it will create a node app database in MongoDB Compass. So this is the code that you can look. So right now we don't have node app. Look at, we don't have node app. So later we will just create a node app database. So let's import this connect to database in server in index.js file. So after importing that, let's use that here. So that's it. After creating connection with database, we have done that, and here we have also implemented the register. Let's now check the sign up. Okay, just come here back to our code. So here I will just move to a console. So okay, we will just check the result what we are retrieving from the database. Here I will write a username, and here email user@gmail.com, and here the password 125. Press sign up button. So look at, we faced with an error. It says server error. Okay, that is a server error. Let's check the server error. Let's move to this. Yeah, there is no error. Let's come here to the express.router. So where is the error? I will cancel the error. Okay, cancel. I will check that now. So let's now press this sign up button. So let's now come here to the console. So it's a cannot structure temporary name of requester but as a edit file. Yeah, it means there is no name, email, password. Come here to the sign up. We passed name, email, and password. Localhost 5000. That is okay. There is no error. I can't see any error. So I save it once again. And that is refreshed. Refresh it once again. Yeah, the same error. Cannot structure property name of requested body as it is undefined. It means that we didn't pass values from a sign up. Okay, just come here, axios.post state here. Yeah, the problem is that the data that we pass from front end, we should convert that to the JSON format. So to convert that to the JSON format, for that we will use app.use express.json. That's it. Okay, now let's try it. Refresh that back. Press sign up button. So look at we successfully registered our user data message account created successfully. Let's come here to the database. We don't have the node app, so let's refresh it. Refresh databases. So look at we have node app and we have users. In user we have our first account. So this was the first account. So after creating registering the user, now let's implement the React router. So to implement React router, come here to the app.jsx. In app.jsx, let's import first of all React router, browser router, routes, and route. So after importing that, now instead of this I will use browser router. Down from that, let's use routes, and inside that route the path is equal to slash, and here the element will be the first element is home. So let's create home component also. We don't have the home page. Let's create that. Let's import the home. This is routes, and the second route will be the sign up or register. Whatever name you assign to that, use sign up. Yeah, we have Alt Shift F to format the document. So after that, let's have another component which is login. Yeah, this route is for login page. Here we will use log. Let's do it. Let's create login page also. Right click, file. So now if you want to move to slash login, so we will move directly to the login component. Yeah, we don't have a login. We didn't import that. Yeah, we are at the login component. So after registering a user, now let's log into the system. So let's implement the login functionality. Come here to the login. I just come to the login. So for the login, we will have the same form as we created for sign up. Let's copy the whole code, Control A, Control C. I will paste that Control A, Control V. Just I will change this to login because we would like to create the same forum, the same thing. Just we will remove the name field. Remove this name field. We don't need this name in login. Okay, let's remove the name field here also. That's it. Change this to the login. And here we will have already have an account, don't have account. If you don't have any account, so move directly to the sign up. So let's change this to the link. Okay, React Outer DOM link to directly move link of React Outer DOM, who is equal to slash sign. I think that was register. The path was register. Yes. So let's copy this for sign up page also. So here instead of anchor tag, I will use link. I will show you right now. Okay. I will just show to you now. So this is login. Press this register. So look at login. That's it. Come here to the login. Okay, in login, whenever we press this login button, we would like to log into the system. So just come here. Okay, we have changed everything. Handle submit. We will call handle submit function, and here we will call now auth login. Instead of register, we will call login, and we will pass just email and password. So whenever we receive the response, so I will just write a response.data.success. If that was true, so we will navigate back to the home page. So how we can navigate? So for the navigation, we will use, let's create a instance navigate variable, instance variable const navigate. We will import use navigate using React Outer DOM. So here I will just navigate slash to home page. What else we need to do whenever we log into the system? I think I am in sign up page. Sign up page. So let's just change this back to the register. Yeah, whenever I successfully register, so I will move to login. Now let's move back to the login. In the login, this is login. Create an instance, navigate. So let's remove this name, and in sign up, I think I removed the name also, so let's add that name. So that is okay. I think I removed the name field here. Oops. Yeah, that's okay. I'm here. App response data.success, navigate slash where we want to move slash home. Okay, we would like to move to the home page. And what else we need to do? We would like to store the token that we are returning from server side. We will store that inside the local storage. So I will return a token. And what else we need to do? That is to call login, and we would like to store the user information in a variable, in memory variable. So I will just leave that. Okay, for right now let's implement this login functionality. Okay, so whenever we call this, let's move to this login route, come here to the index, come here to the auth. In auth I will just implement the before we implement it register. So let's copy this and we will implement it for login functionality. We will just change a few things like this to log in, and here we will just extract email and password. That is okay. First of all, we will check, okay, if the user was not existed. Now for login we will check if the user was not existed, user not existed. And hash password, we don't need hash password. So here we will compare the password because we would like to log into the system. So const check password is equal to Bcrypt dot compare. In the compare method, first of all, our password that we passed from front end, then our protected, it means encrypted password. So encrypted password is user dot password. If the passwords were not equal, so what we need to do, we will just write here if not check password. So then return again a response, like copy this, paste it here, and here we will just write wrong credentials. That's it. Success false, message wrong credentials. And if the password was also okay, so then what we need to do, we will just return a response. Let's remove this code. So return response to 100 success okay message and log in successfully. If there was any error, so error in login server. That's it. This is the API of login. So we didn't generate token. So let's generate token also. Const token is equal to JWT. First of all, let's import JSON web token. JWT.sign. So the first thing is the payload. So for the payload, I would like to store ID, just ID, which is user dot ID. I would like to store the this is just a data, comma. So after that, you need to have a secret key. Okay, so the secret key for the secret, this secret key should be at least 32 character and a long key that no one should know about this key. Okay, this will be a unique key. So I will just write something like secret key of node app 123 at hash, something like this. Okay, comma, after that just expires ends. For example, this key will expire in 5 hours. After 5 hours, this key will not be validated, will not work. And also here in the response, we will return now two things. Okay, the first of all, the user information and also the token. So success is true, and also return token after that user. So for the user, I will return user dot name, comma name. Let's press Alt Shift. Don't worry, don't worry. So user name, first of all, for the name user dot name, and what else I need to return? Just the name. That's okay. So I have returned in the response whenever we successfully log in token and user. In user we have just the name of the user. That's okay. Let's check it now. Okay, let's check it. Come here to the login, and here we will like to move directly back to the home page. Okay, whenever we log in successfully, so we will move directly to the home page. So let's do it. Yeah, we are at the login system. Yusuf@gmail.com or 5. So let's press login button. So we directly move to the login to the home page. It means we successfully log into the system. So this was the login API. So after creating the login API, what we need to do else is, so let's design navbar now. Okay, we would like to design a navbar here at the home page. So let's do it. Come here to the src, and I will create a folder and I will assign a name to these components. Inside these components, let's assign a name navbar. I will just design. Okay, this is just HTML and Tailwind CSS classes. So I will just write the code. So this is the code of navbar. Look at, we have a now element, then we have div. Okay, in that div we have link navbar node up. So after that, I just come here down input field for search. Okay, and also these are login, sign up, and logout button. I will show you. Okay, this is the code. Look at. So let's import it inside home component. Come here to the home, and here I will import that. Yeah, I think we faced with an error. Let's check the code. Where is the error? Link, we have imported link. That is okay. And what is remained? We don't have right now this button. Set. So we have this now bar. Okay, we have these three buttons. Now the problem is that we would like to display the username. Okay, whenever a user log into the system, we want to display the username of that. And also, if the user logged in, we want to display the log out. If the user was not logged in, we want to display just these two buttons. So let's do it. So for that, we need to create context. We would like to use context API. So let's create a folder in src. We will name it context. Inside this context, I will create a file. I will name it context provider. So inside this context provider, we want to use context API. So to use context API, we will use two functions: create context and use context. So let's do it. Create context, import this one, and also use context. That's it. So let's first of all create a context. Const. We will name it user, or we can name it auth context. Create context. Okay, simple. We have created a context. Now after creating the context, let's use this context. Okay, instead of this div element, I will use auth context dot provider. So that's it. Now in the provider, we want to pass values. So let's assign, for example, values. So inside this values, which values you want to pass to other components. It means whatever you pass in these videos, so those videos will be accessible in all components. How many component and pages do you have, you can access them. So first of all, I want to store the user information. That's it. Set user by default that is null, and just come here. I want to pass user. Later I will create other functions also, but right now I have created just the user variable, state variable. Okay, so let's so this was in Apo. Yeah, this is context API. Okay. So just a simple here. Here we will pass children. Children. Okay, the component which will be inside this context provider, auth context provider. So here I will just print the children. So let's now use this context. Okay, auth context. Let's export it. Const use auth. We will name it use auth is equal to, we will create a function. Through this function we will return let's use context. We will call use context, and we will pass auth context to that. Okay, whenever you would like to use context API, so we need to use these two hooks, these two functions, the create context and use context. First of all, we created a context, then we use the context provider. So whatever is inside this provider, so that can access these values. So now to use this context, okay, to use this context, we will use context hook, and we will pass this auth context to that. Now through this use auth, I can access the values, these values, okay, which are inside this. So let's now import the context provider in main.jsx. Okay, in main.jsx, let's import context provider. So after importing it, now let's wrap our code, our app.jsx through context provider. That's it. Now app.jsx will be passed to this, okay, context provider as a children, and we can print that inside this context provider, auth context.provider. So these children can access these values. So that's it. Now let's access this user values. Come here to the navbar, and in navbar, just come here and const user is equal to use auth. Simple, like this. So now let's write, okay, use auth. Just come here. If the user was not logged in, so we want to display the login and sign up button. Just come here. If the user was not logged in, so simply print login and logout buttons. That's it. Okay, but if the user was logged in, so then we want to display this logout button and also the username. Control X. I will just do, okay, instead of this username, let's print user.name. X, where is the error? So let's first of all, I opened that. Yeah, let's close that here and remove this parenthesis. Alt Shift F to format the document. Like the user was not a login, so display these two buttons. If the otherwise, display the username and logout button. That's it. So right now we have login and sign up. I will just show you later how we can display whenever we log in. So we will display the username and logout button. So this was the let's log in. Okay, let's, whenever we press this, we want to move to login. Okay, yeah, to log in. That's it. In. So look at we have to display the username, and yeah, why we can't see that, why we say that, it will be from auth context provider. So we passed a user to that. We didn't set values inside this set user. So how we can set whenever we log in? So we want to store the username inside this user variable. So for that, let's create a function const login. Here I will pass a user. I will call set user, and I will pass a user to that. That's it. So now let's pass this login also. So let's, whenever we log in, so we want to call this login function. Come here to the login. Yeah, this is login. So here I will first of all extract the login, use auth. That's it. Come here, and whenever we successfully log in, so let's call that. So I will pass response data at user. Let's log in now. So look at use up and the logout button. So this was about the navbar. So after the navbar, let's now just come here and create a button. Okay, we would like to create a button at the bottom top. Okay, at the right bottom. So by creating that button, we want to add a new node app. So let's do it. That we will do that inside home page. So let's create the add button. Come here to the home. In home, let's create a button. And first of all, come here to the restrict element. I will assign class name bg gray under it, and also minimum height of this page will be 100 screen. Come here now to the button. In this button, we will have plus sign. Let's add class name bg. So or we can assign till 500 text white, font bold, padding 4, rounded full, and let's make it fixed. Okay, this is fixed, and right will be like 4, bottom right 4, right 4, bottom 4. So let's check it. Okay, just come here and we have, okay, look at this is a button that we have. We can just increase the size also, text to XL. Okay, this is a plus sign. So now whenever we click this plus sign, we would like to display a model, and that model we will use that model to insert a record. So let's do it to create a model. So first of all, we will just have a state variable to display the model. Const is model open, set model open. By default value is false, so here I will display the model. Okay, if is model open, if the model was open, so then display the model. So let's create model. So I will create model inside the component. Come here to the home and I will call that. So let's now design model. Okay, whenever we press this plus sign, so just come here. By pressing this plus sign, on click, we will call on click event, create an arrow function and call set model open, control Z, pass true to that, this state variable. Okay, set model open. Whenever we pass through, so it will run this node model. So in node model, what I need to do, I will create a model, I will design a model. So I will the model will looks like this. Okay, I will just show to you. So look at model should looks like this. So let's design it. I will just design it. So this is the model code. Okay, I will just show it to you. We have two state variable, title and description, and we have a handle submit function. This is a div element, div, and a forum input field for title, and text area for description, and a button for to add node, and a button for cancel. So let's check it. Okay, it will looks like this. Okay, it is just like this code. We have this h2 tag, this input field, a text area, and two buttons. Is this one, so it will looks like this, same like that. So now whenever I insert values inside these two these two input fields, okay, like this, unchange, call set title, store value inside the title, and here store value inside the description. So after storing, whenever we press submit button, so we will call on submit handle submit function. So here now I will implement the logic to just pass this data to the server side to store that inside a model. Okay, to add it to the database. So to pass this data to the database, we will do something as we did in signup. Okay, we'll just come here because that is the same logic. Okay, we don't need to write it again and again. This is the same function. Let's copy this handle submit function. Just instead of this, I will change this to note, and here I will just add that note add API note add, and here instead of this I will pass title and description. If we successfully inserted the record, so we will move back to the home page. We are already at the home page. That's it. Okay, that's it. And we will also close the model. Right now, whenever we press this button, okay, a note. So if we successfully inserted the record, we want to close model. And also whenever we press this cancel button, we want to close the model. So for closing the model, come here to the home page. So here we have is model. So here I will create two button. And let's false this close model to this note model. Let's distract that inside note model. And here I will call that. So that's it. Okay, so also I will call that on cancel button. Okay, it will close that on that back. So let's now whenever we press this button, we will pass data to the database. So instead of adding data here, let's do something else. Okay, let's just copy this code. Okay, copy this whole code and we will create that function inside home because we want to refresh the data, the nodes data later. Okay, const add a node add node, that's it, response, and we want to pass data to that, and here we will pass title and description. Let's pass those data. So also first of all let's call add node to this node model, extract that here and call that here, pass title and description. So whenever we pass data, title and description, and here response to data successfully close model, call close model function. So this was it. Now let's move to the server side. Okay, to add come here, the index. First of all, let's create a model. Okay, we need to create a model. So just come here to the model. Let's create a model, new file, node.js. So let's create the model. So this is the code for model. We have title, description, and user ID. User ID, it means that which user has added the node up to the database. So the ID is object ID, reference is user. We would like, it means that it has reference with user. A user can add multiple nodes. A nodes just has connection with a user. Node schema and export that. After creating the model, now let's use it. Now here to the routes. So here we will create a route file. We will name it node.js, simple like this. Import express const router is equal to express dot router dot post. So here that is add. Okay, we would like to add. Let's export it. Now let's import it inside index.js. As we have imported this one, let's duplicate it. So this is node router. Change this to node.js and duplicate this one. And here we will just write node and auth router, instead of auth router we will write node router. That's it. Okay, so come here back to the node app. So here we will add now the record. So as we just come here to the auth, as we registered a user, so we want to use the same code. Okay, because we want to have the same code. Close this, come here to the node, paste the code, just come here. Now I will just change that. Here we would like to destruct title and description instead of name and title and description. That is okay. Remove this one, also this one. So new user, instead of new user we will just make it new node. We should import node. .js. Here we will assign title, description, and the third property in node is user ID. So how we can access the user ID? So for the user ID we need, first of all, okay, whenever we want to call this function, we want to verify the user. Is this a validated user or not? So for that we need to verify, okay, verify the user. That's the one who would like to insert a node, he should be verified user, he should be logged in. So for that we need to create a middleware. So let's create middleware to check the validity of user. In server side, in server folder, let's create a new folder, middleware. In middleware, let's create a file .js. So in this middleware, let's first of all import JWT, okay, from JSON Web Token. We need this, okay, to check the token, and also we need to import user from model. Let's create now function chance. This is asynchronous function, and inside this we will get request and response and next. So I will show you the next, why we can use next inside by catch block set. So here inside this middleware function, what we need to do, we would like to verify the user. So to verify the user, for that we are using token. So we will check the token. If the token was a valid token, so then it means that the user is logged in. So how we can receive the token? So to receive the token, we need to pass that from front end. Come here to the node app. Whenever we want to call the server side, come here to the node app. So here, okay, whenever we want to call this axios.post and pass the data, this node data. So for that, let's first of all close that comma. Here I want to attach headers also. Inside these headers, I will just pass now authorization. Authorization. So inside this authorization, let's attach with the bearer prefix. Let's first of all backtick bearer prefix, and here we will use local storage that get item token. So it means that we will pass token to the server side. Come here now to the middleware, and here I will get the token. So const token is equal to request dot headers dot authorization dot split by space and 1. What does this mean? It means that whenever we pass data, coming to the home, whenever we pass this header, okay, so after that we passed headers. So in the header we have wrapped the authorization, okay, let's remove this I. Authorization, then we have where then a space, after that a token. So how we can receive that? Just come here, a headers dot authorization dot split, it means split it based on space. So after splitting that, take the first one, the first element, okay, this first element which is token. So after reading that, now let's verify the token. If not token, if it means the token was not valid, so didn't return let's return status. So the status will be like 401.json unauthorized. Okay, if the token was not valid, so then return a response which is that is not authorized. Const, if the token was okay, so then we would like to access the decoded value. It means the payload. Whenever we were logging to the system, at that time we store the ID in payload. So let's access the payload. We will use JSON web token jwt.verify. So to verify it, first of all, we are passing token to that, and after that our secret key. So what was our secret key? Okay, that is better to store the secret key and other things in .env file, but I didn't store that. I'm sorry for that. You can create a .env file and how to store and receive the data from that. So the come here to auth, you should use the same token key, gwt. This was the secret key, so let's copy this secret key. That's it. So it will give us the decoded values. Now if not decoded, it means the decoded value are not available. Again, it means that there is an error. Copy this line and paste it. Unauthorized at wrong token, something like this. Okay, return the response. So if the decoded value were also okay, so then I would like to just receive the user. Const user is equal to with so await user dot find by ID, and here I would like to pass ID. That means just find user based on ID. I will pass this ID, decoded that ID. Okay, this is decoded. At that time we stored ID inside our decoded value. Let's show to you. Come here to the auth. Look at, we have stored ID, the user ID at that time. So decoded.id, decoded.id. Copy this. So after finding the user, what we need to do now, again, if we didn't find user, if not user, again return an error. No user, for example. But if everything was okay, I would like to attach request.user is equal to with user.name. I will create an object. In that object, I will just store user.name. Simple, just I will store the user.name inside that and just so inside it means that with the request, whenever I am passing a request, so it will have the user with that. A user will be attached with that request. Now let's call next function. So next we'll move control back to the that where from where I called the middleware. It means that right now I called middleware here. So here I will call the middleware. Let's call that Let's first of all export that. So whenever it comes to middleware, so it will call the middleware and it will process that. If everything was okay, so by this next, it will move back and continue this function. Now, if there was an error, so I will return a response. Let's copy this error. Please login. Come here to Node. So one thing else that I should store here, the user.name and also ID, which is user.id. That's it. Okay, store the ID also inside this. Now how I receive the ID? So I can receive the ID user. The third field is user ID is equal to with user request dot user dot ID. That's how I can receive the ID. It means whenever I call this route, so first of all I will call middleware. In middleware it will attach the username and user ID with this request dot user, so I can access that through request dot user here. I pass just the request dot ID here. So just come here, new user, new node, that is new node. That's save. So after saving that, let's returns true and message account created, node created successfully. If there was an error in adding node. This was the API of how to verify user and also how to add a new node. So let's check it now. Come here back and let's refresh it once. Let's press this add button. First of all, let's log in. That's it. Let's press add button. Press this add node. So let's check the response. Come to F12. It means access is not defined. Let's import access inside this node model. What else we need to define? Yeah, everything okay. No, inside home. Sorry, okay, inside home. That is it. That's it. That's it. Press this add button. So look at it, means that we successfully inserted the record. Now let's check it here. Right now we have just users collection. Let's refresh it now. Refresh it. Look at, we have notes. Inside notes we have the first record. Jim started at 9 o'clock. So now let's fetch the records from server side and display that on the screen. So let's fetch the nodes from database and display them. So come here to the home, and home I will use effect to display to fetch the records. Array dependency, and just come here, and here I will create const fetch nodes asynchronous function. Let's create that, and inside let's call that down fetch nodes. Now here I will fetch the nodes. Let's const, I will destruct data is equal to, so let's use a wait keyword and access. Let's import, yeah, access has been imported. Get, so let's get http colon /localhost colon, the port number is 5000 /API /node. So after receiving the data, so we will store the data inside a state variable. So let's create that const nodes set nodes. use state, the default value is an empty array. Let's now store the data inside that. Call here set nodes and pass data dot nodes. And if there was an error, so for the error, we can display the error and toast notification. I will implement that later, but right now I will just console.log error. Let's check that. Okay, set nodes, date.nodes. Let's move now. Yeah, implement this route. Okay, so nodes, set nodes, that is okay. So whenever I retrieve data from database, let's first of all retrieve database. Come here to the nodes, and in node I will just write here another API router.get slash, just simply slash asynchronous function request and response. And let's use try catch block, and here I will retrieve the nodes. Const nodes is equal to await node dot find. Simply find, it will retrieve that. So let's return response dot status grow100.json success true and return nodes. Sorry, this is catch. If there was an error, return response.status 500.json success false. Message no entity. So this was the API. So whenever I retrieve the nodes, I would like to display them on the screen. So to display them, just come here down, and down from this navbar I would like to display the nodes. So let's do it. Here I will use nodes dot map function. So here let's now display the nodes. So to display the node, for every node I will create a card. Okay, and a card. So let's create a card for that. Let's create a component node card. Let's call that node card. After calling that, what I need to pass that. So let's pass to that. First of all, node. I want to pass node to that. That's it. Okay, let's come here to the node card and extract that node. So here I will display the code of that node card. It means that I will design that. So I have designed, okay, the node card like this. A div element, then h2 tag, node title, then a p tag where we have description. So up down from that we have two icons. One is for edit, the second one is for delete. These are two icons I have imported from React icons. Found awesome. Let's now check it. I'm here, so maybe close it. So look at, we have just one node, so I have displayed that. So let's apply grid system on that. So let's apply grid system on that. Come here to the home, and here I will apply grid system. Last name. So grid calls one md grid calls for medium devices display 3 cards per page. Look at, so it will looks like this. Let's add padding also. So this is the first one. Let's add padding top 5. Sorry. So this is the first card that we displayed. Okay, the first one. Let's add another one like meeting. Thing like this. Add notes. So we have added notes. So whenever we add notes, we want to display that automatically. So for that, simply come here to the home, So whenever we call that, okay, add nodes, so here by successful, so I will call this fetch functions again. Let's come here, so this fetch functions, so let's just move it outside from use effect, place that here, fetch that functions here also. Whenever you add nodes, so here call that. So let's add gap also between. So that's it. Okay, now let's add another one. Okay, we have that one also. So this was the add and displaying the note cards. So now another functionality is whenever we press this edit button, we want to edit a card, a note. So to edit a note, so for that it means come here to the note card. Whenever we press this edit icon, we want to edit this note. So for that, come here to the home. For home, what I need to do, let's first of all add a state variable, current note, set current note is equal to with use state. By default value is null. Okay, this set current note, it I will assign value to this current note whenever I want to edit a note. Now let's create a function, const on edit. The function name is on edit. So in this on edit, what I need to do, I will call set current note. So I will pass note to this function, and also set model open true. Okay, now let's pass this on edit, this function, to this one, this note card. Let's distract it a node card. After distracting it, let's, whenever we click on this, I want to call on edit, and I want to pass note to that. So after passing note to that function, I'm here to back to the home, and here whenever we call that function on edit, okay, let's wrap this. So on edit, I will store the note inside this set current, okay, state variable in this one. So after storing that inside this one, now what we need to do, I would like to display the model. So let's do it. Come here to the model. Let's I will just show you. Okay, let's press this edit button. So okay, we just displayed the model. So whenever we display the model, I want to change this text, and also I want to display the values of this note. So let's do it. How we can receive that? So for that, let's pass this current note, copy this one current note, and we will pass that to the model. So here we have model. This is our model. Let's pass that. So after passing that, let's come here to the note model and extract that step by step. Okay, so after bringing that here, let's first of all display here, if current model was not null, so then display, if that was not null, so then display add edit note, else display add new note. This is the first step that we did. Okay, and also let's change the button name. Okay, so here I will change the button name. Current name was not null. If there was something, so then just make it edit update note, else add note. This is the first step I will show you right now. Okay, let's for example, let's look at edit note and update note. That is the first step that we did. So after that, we will display the values here. So to display the values, for that, come here, we will call the use effect hook. Here let's use current note. we will just call render this use effect whenever we update the value of this current node. And here let's in this use effect, what we need to do, let's if current node, if the current node was, if there was an object inside current node, if it was not null, so what we need to do, we will call set title and we will pass current node dot title. Same to this set description. It means we will update the values. That's it. Let's check the second update. Press this edit. Look at, we have these values. So after that, whenever you make some changes, whenever you press this update button, we want to call a function. So for that, we call handle submit. Okay, handle submit. Now here, if current node, if it was in update mode, we want to call the edit function. Otherwise, we want to call the add button, add function. Okay, this is add function. If we were in update mode, we want to call the edit function. So how we can access the edit function? Let's create the edit function inside home. This was add function. Let's create the edit function. Const edit node, for example, is equal to asynchronous function. To this edit function, I will pass ID, title, and description. Now let's pass this edit node function to the model. Let's go back to the model, and in the model distract that, and here I will call that. And let's pass now the ID. Okay, current node dot slash ID, the ID of that node, title, and description. So after passing these to edit node function, now in the edit node function, I will call and update the value. So how to update that in the database? So for that, we will use the access, okay, to pass data. Let's copy this code. Try, okay, that is okay. Response access, instead of post, we will use put because we are updating values. And here we will use node, just the ID, because we want to update based on ID. So here I will pass ID, the ID that I have passed. Let's change this to backtick. That is it. Here I will pass ID, title, and description. And here instead of, yeah, we don't need to pass ID because we passed ID through parameter, through URL. And headers, that is okay, we pass the token if response.data.success. So if that was okay, pitch nodes and close model. That's it. This is the how we can achieve. Now let's create the API. Let's go back here to nodes. So here I will create the API. Router.put. Here we will get an ID. So first of all, let's restrict the ID. Const ID is equal to request.params. So after distracting the ID, now let's update the node. So to update the node, let's write const update node dot find by ID and update. So first of all, I will pass the ID. ID is that I have received. So after that, I will pass the data. Okay, request.body. I want to update these values, the title and description. So what else I need? Yeah, just these things. So here I can pass new true. Means that new true. We don't write this. That is okay. So lastly, return a response like this. and update node. So let's try it now. Let's try it. What happened? Come here. Let's press this edit one. Gym evening, for example. Let's update node. Gym evening. Look at we have updated successfully. Let's update it again. Changed. I will just add changed. Update node. Look at changed. Refresh it. Again changed. That's it. Don't worry, okay, that we received back login and sign up. I will just show you how we can, whenever we refresh it or open the browser again and again, so we should have here our username in logout button. I will just that is the last step that I will implement. Now we updated, okay, we implement the update functionality. Now let's implement the delete functionality, how we can delete a node. So for the deletion, again in node card, whenever I click this, I want to delete that one. So how? Let's do it. Here I will create a delete function. Instead of edit, let's const on const on a delete node. We will just pass id to this function. Okay, so let's copy this code, try catch block, because this is the same code. Let's grab it, paste that here. So here instead of this access that put, we will call delete, and here note the id, that is okay. We don't want to pass anything. Let's remove this. Just want to pass the header. If that is okay, close. We don't have the model. Fetch nodes, call the fetch nodes. Now let's implement, let's copy this delete node function and pass that to the node card. So let's now come here to the node card. Paste that here, distract that, and here on click, call that function and pass node dot id. Pass the node id. Let's now, whenever we press that button, that icon, so it will call that function. So in this function, in this function we call this API. So let's come here back to the node route. So here we will implement that. Let's copy this one, paste that. This is delete id. Okay, request, first of all extract the id. Here find by id and delete. Pass just id. That's it. Return. Yeah, that's okay. Everything is okay. Let's try the delete one. Let's, for example, delete this one. So look at that, has been deleted successfully. Now we have just these two. So this was the delete functionality that we have implemented. Now we will implement the filter, okay, to filter the records. So to filter the records, for that come here back to home. In home, let's create a state variable first of all. Const query set query. And here also a state variable. Second one, this is these are nodes, but here filtered nodes and set filtered nodes. In this state variable, we will store the filtered nodes, the searched nodes, and this is the query, the query that we want to search. Now let's pass this set query to navbar, okay, because the search box is in navbar. So let's pass this set query, copy this one to navbar. Come here to the navbar, and here I will pass that. Let's move to navbar and distract that. So whenever I write something in this input field, so I will update that. On change, set query dot target dot value. So whenever we update the set query, so it means we are updating this value. okay, this query. So after updating that query, let's have a use effect. So array dependency, in this array dependency, I will write the query. So whenever we update query, so I will call this use effect hook, and also when update nodes. So in this use effect hook, I will implement now the filtered, okay, to filter the records. So let's call this set filtered nodes. In this use effect, in this set filter node, I will just call now, it means filter the records. So to filter the records, for that I will use nodes dot filter function, and we will have node. Now I will update that. Okay, I will filter the records. How I can update the records? Simply I will write node dot title dot to lowercase, change this to lowercase, dot includes query dot to lowercase, like this. Alt Shift F to filter the record. Okay, so node dot title dot to lowercase. Okay, or duplicate this description. We can filter based on description and title. Node dot title dot lowercase dot includes query dot lowercase, or node dot description dot lowercase dot includes query dot to lowercase. Now let's use filtered nodes instead of that. Okay, just come here down. Instead of displaying here, we have used nodes here. Instead of using nodes here, I will use filtered records. Let's do it like that. F filtered nodes dot length was greater than 0, so then display filtered nodes dot map, go through that, otherwise just come here, else display no nodes. That's it. Now let's try and check that, refresh that. We have these two nodes. Let's now look at meeting, no nodes, team. That's it. It is the filter functionality. Now the last functionality is, for example, we are logged in, but here we should see our username, and also we should see the log out button, and also we will implement the logout functionality. So let's verify user. So just come here and we will move to auth. Okay, context provider. In context provider, so here I will use the use effect hook. Okay, just come use effect hook. So here const verify user, asynchronous function. Here in this function I will verify user. So to verify user, for that let's use try catch block. In try catch block, let's const we can just name it like response is equal to with a wait keyword, and after that I use Axios. So let's import the Axios dot get. So here we will just call http colon localhost double slash localhost colon the port number 5000 slash API slash auth slash verify auth slash verify. Okay, app response dot data dot success. So if that was success, it means this, the user was validated one, it means already logged in. So what we need to do, we will call set user response dot data dot user, else set user null, assign null to that. This is the code. Okay, let's, where is the error? Yeah, let's use catch block also. Error. So that's okay. Let's call now fetch verify user function. Let's create now this endpoint, this API. So for that, for creating this API, we will move to let's close these things. Yeah, instead of this, we will move verify, auth verify. So for that, let's move to auth routes. So in auth routes, let's create that one, router dot git slash verify. Request and response. So here we will verify. So before verifying that, let's call middleware. So after calling the middleware, if that was okay, so then we will just return here. Simply we will return response.status 208.json true. So that is okay. Okay, one thing else that I should note that whenever you come, you would like to return the nodes. So for nodes, we will return nodes based on the user. Okay, the user who is logged in. So I said that we will return just the nodes which is related to this user. So for that, we need to call here middleware first of all. So after calling middleware, then here we will just find, we will return node based on ID. Specify the ID, which is, it means user ID. Okay, user ID, the user ID which is equal to with the request dot user dot ID, because in middleware we attached the ID. Okay, here we have user, so in user we have the ID. Let's come here. So here we will return the node based on the user ID. So that's it. Okay, so let's now try it. Let's now refresh it. So no nodes found. So let's check it. Why we can't. Node dot find user ID, request dot user dot ID. That is okay. Just come here to the middleware. Yeah, request dot user dot ID. And also we should check the verification. We have problem with verification also. Auth verify. Yeah, there is an error. So it says the error is in middleware status. Yeah, there is a spelling mistake in a middleware. So let's check that. Status. This is status. Status 500. Yeah, I hope that is correct. Now let's try it. Refresh that. So we can't retrieve again. But there is no error. But let's check. I think the problem is just node. Based on user. Let's once log in. Let's log in. What happened? Email.com. Let's press login. So we logged into the system. Yeah, that is okay, but we can't see the nodes. I will just configure the nodes, but also we have the verification. First of all, let's retrieve the nodes. Node.find user ID, request.user. Let's first of all console log request. I will just show you the, yeah, whenever you would like to just debug the coding, find the problem, means that we can't move, can't receive. Yeah, we can't see anything, means that we are not coming here to the router.git request.user. Let's just attach something else. that we can see anything, it not coming to this. There is a problem with middleware. Yes, of course there is problem. It says API auth verified load 5. Yeah, there is in verify there is an error. Let's move to the verify auth slash verify router dot git slash verify. Come here back to context. API slash auth verify dot git dot verify middleware. Check the error. Where is the problem? Let's refresh it now. So we faced again with error. Now check that. Where is the error? Internal server error nodes. Let's check the database in nodes. Refresh that. We have the user ID. That is okay. User ID. I'll just configure it out. Yeah, I can figure. I just found the problem here. We should pass the header. Okay, the headers. We should pass the authorization. Okay, like here we passed somewhere like this. This was the problem. Yeah, that is okay now. That's okay. Let's save that now. Again, we faced with an error. It says API nodes. Now we faced with error that nodes, it cannot retrieve the nodes. I will just configure it out. Okay, don't worry for that. Verify is okay. Come here. I will just remove this one. Just let's move to the node. In node middleware, SLD request user. I can't retrieve the nodes. Let's refresh that. We paste home.jsx. Okay, let's move to the home. Where is the problem? So as we have called here the middleware, so we should pass header from home.jsx. Let's just pass that. Like that and paste it here. Save that. Let's check it now. That's okay. Okay, look at we have resolved the issue. But let's resolve this issue also in the verification. Let's move to the context API, and whenever we verify the user data.success, get user response data.user. So we should return user. Okay, let's do it. Let's come here to the auth. I come here to the verify, and here I will return user. User is equal to with the request.user. So look at we have the user, okay, the name and also the logout button. So let's implement the logout functionality. So for the logout, let's move. There is the logout. That is at navbar. Let's come here to the navbar and logout. One click. Handle logout. Handle. So here we will just call local storage dot remove item. We will just remove our item token. What we need to do, let's cut this, and I would like to create it inside the I will create it inside here. Okay, the context provider and a logout, and also here set user to null. Let's pass now this logout through here. I will pass that, save that, and let's access it here, logout, and I will call the logout here. Whenever I click this button, I will call that logout. So we have log out successfully. So now whenever we are not logged in, so we should not see these things. Okay, let's refresh. So we should not, no notes. We should not see that. That is okay. So you cannot see anything. So let's log in. .com 125, press log in. So we logged into the system. That is okay. Now the last functionality is to add toast notification. So to use toast notification, for that, let's move to the app.js. Let's come here to the app.js. So here let's import the toast notification, the toast container. First of all, the toast container, let's import it from toast container from React Toastify. So after importing that, let's import it here for the first time. Just import the toast container here. So after importing that, now let's use this. Okay, first of all, you should have it at the parent component. Now, for example, whenever you delete, let's just come here we should like under delete. Okay, whenever we delete a component, I will just display it for deletion. If that was successful, okay, so let's use it. First of all, I will import Toastify, import toast. Okay, toast from React Toastify. So now we will use this toast. With toast, you can use error and success, which message you want to display. So you can display that. So I will display the success message here. Delete note. Okay. So here, toast.success. Just display the message. Note deleted. Simple like this. So let's now test it. Refresh that. For example, I want to delete this one. Nougat. So we have to see the toast notification. Why we can't? Start success. Yeah, the problem is that let's just place it before the fetch nodes function. Let's place it before that. Let's try it now. We can see again. So let's add one. Put it. React Toastify. Toast container. That is okay. Yeah, we should import that CSS file also. Okay, I forgot that. Import React Toastify /dist/ okay, React Toastify .css. Let's try it now. Let's refresh it and let's delete it. So look at node deleted successfully. So the toast notification that we displayed. So it was all about the node full stack node application that we have implemented, and we created the adding to add a node, delete, edit, and also toast notification, filter, logout, login, register. So we implemented all these functionalities. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, like this video, and comment down. Thanks for watching.